Stranger Things Season 5, A Wrinkle in Time. A dark homage and a terrifying twist. When Season 5 of Stranger Things premiered, fans were treated to a surprisingly bold turn, the introduction of a character named Mr. Whatsit. At first glance, he seems like a ghost friend or imaginary pal to Holly Wheeler. But as the episodes progress, that benign fantasy starts to feel deeply wrong, and that's exactly the effect the creators were going for. The A Wrinkle in Time connection. The name Mr. Whatsit isn't random. It's a direct nod to A Wrinkle in Time, where a benevolent being named Mrs. Whatsit helps children traverse space and time to rescue a loved one. But whereas Mrs. Whatsit is a force for good, Stranger Things turns that idea on its head. Mr. Whatsit is anything but benevolent. By evoking the novel, Season 5 plays with our expectations. What should be comforting and protective becomes manipulative and sinister. The manipulation is especially chilling when children start being lured under the pretense of being saved from monsters. What begins as a creepy childhood fantasy ends up being a key tool in the villain's game. Who is Mr. Whatsit, really? Without spoiling too slowly, Mr. Whatsit is revealed to be none other than Henry Creel, better known to Stranger Things fans as Vecna. In other words, the villain is using a dream of comfort and nostalgia to lure kids into his trap. Holly isn't the only target. The show makes clear that Vecna isn't satisfied with just one victim. His plan involves children with fragile minds, using their hopes and fears against them by twisting a bright story into a nightmare. Season 5 tone. Horror meets heartbreak. This shift isn't just about horror. By referencing A Wrinkle in Time, the show invites viewers to question how trust, innocence, and hope can be twisted when someone evil knows exactly how to exploit them. It's a clever and cruel subversion of the comforting sentiment that imaginary friends and childhood fantasies are harmless. At the same time, the renewed horror, full-on demons, monsters, and a creeping sense of dread shows that Season 5 is ready to unleash chaos on Hawkins like never before. According to press coverage, the scale of the threats and the action sequences are among the most ambitious the show has ever attempted. What this means for the story and fans. It's a dangerous nostalgia. By pulling from a beloved book, the show takes comfort and innocence and turns them into bait. Fans are forced to question everything: childhood memories, safe stories, even what feels familiar and comforting. The emotional stakes are higher than ever. The vulnerability of kids, once a source of hope, becomes a vulnerability front and center. Horror and psychological terror are merged. The show isn't just about monsters anymore. It's about manipulation, trust, and betrayal. It feels like a final reckoning. Season 5 brings back major threads: monsters, alternate dimensions, childhood trauma, and it seems like the show wants to pull everything together in one hell of a finale. Why this twist works and why it messes with you. It hits hard because it draws on something deeply human: the innocence of childhood, the comfort of imagination, and the security of being told we're safe. By twisting the reference to A Wrinkle in Time, a story about hope, love, and rescue, into a mechanism for evil, Stranger Things weaponizes hope itself. That tension makes the horror scarier and more personal. And it's not just jump scares or monsters. The show raises the stakes emotionally. What if you can't trust what feels like comfort? What if your protectors are the ones destroying you from within? For viewers and for your video, this offers amazing ground for discussion. Trust versus fear, innocence versus manipulation, nostalgia versus nightmare. What to watch for, themes to explore in your video. The parallel between Mrs. Whatsit, good, and Mr. Whatsit, evil. What does it say about innocence and corruption? The exploitation of childhood and imagination. Why targeting kids works for Vecna. The clash of nostalgia and horror. How Season 5 uses what we cherish to terrify us. The broader pattern. Returning to childhood fears, trauma, and how past events echo into 1987 Hawkins. How the horror in Season 5 isn't just external, monsters, mind control, but internal, the betrayal of trust, the shattering of safety. Final thoughts. Stranger Things Season 5 doesn't just dial up the horror, it remixes the emotional core of the series. By referencing A Wrinkle in Time, it lures you with something familiar and safe, then forces you to question everything. It's horror with heartbreak, monsters with manipulation, and a finale that might feel as much about loss and innocence as about defeating Vecna. If you're making a video, I think this twist makes for powerful content, especially if you lean into the themes and emotions rather than just plot. Want me to outline a video script structure for you, with intros, hooks, sections, and discussion points, based on this article? That could save you loads of time.